What's up, everybody? JP here with the Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop. It has been a long time in the making. The studio is finally, for the most part, done upgrading and building and redesigning. So I've got a lot to show to you guys today. I'm going to announce our next big build, and we're also going to kind of introduce some of the content I'll be putting out. So first things first, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Sorry for not producing content for the longest time. Aside from, as you guys might know, my house got struck by lightning about 6 months ago and destroyed my computer. So I had to ship it out and have it rebuilt and all that stuff. Around that same time, I decided to, well, the studio's not really a studio. It's kind of was a bedroom, and kind of started converting. So I have been fully converting everything to make more sense and be more of a craft area versus a room that's been repurposed. So it's fully dedicated to being what it is. As you can see behind my head, I should probably go in the other way. I've got a bunch of new shelves. God, I went the wrong way again. Sorry. So I've got a new shelving system that, yes, those little white things are labels on all the drawers. Everything is very well organized and dedicated to different types of crafts, different types of things. For instance, the shelves behind me, the top two shelves are for model making, so X-Acto knives, your hand drills, your files, every type of sandpaper you can think of, and a bunch of other smaller things, green stuff for model making, that kind of stuff. And then the shelves on my other side, which you will see shortly, I've got like glue shelves. If you guys know, I like to make chainmail, so I have a drawer completely dedicated to chainmail. I have a drawer for what other drawers do I have? Doing base materials, and then paint brushes, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So that's the shelves are two big additions, obviously, to the room design. Simple enough. I went, as some of the videos I've done before, you guys might know, I love IKEA. IKEA is wonderful. It's not a paid sponsorship by IKEA, but I got a bunch of shelves from them with inserts and built all those in a couple days. And so it just really made the place a lot easier to organize, and then I got little inserts for the drawers, so everything is organized in its own place. And if you guys ever want me to do a review of that kind of stuff, of how to design a crafting room, we can. The fun door behind me is no longer a junk door. I will show that here in a second, but I want to show you some new stuff with the channel. So aside from the camera you see me on, we're going to jump real quick to, I now have a display booth for doing videos of, showing model making and painting. So this is the paint, or the show booth. It's just a camera. You can see my hand pop in there. And yes, those models are one of the reasons, too, that I have been away for so long. My dad's 60th birthday is tomorrow on Valentine's Day. He's a Valentine's Day baby. Happy birthday, Dad, if you ever watch this. And for his birthday, my dad was an amateur drag car racer through my whole childhood, and we'd go to the racetrack, and it was really awesome. And he had to sell his car. And I know, like, last year for his birthday, we went to the racetrack, and I got to see in his eyes, how much he really wished he could still be doing it and stuff. So I thought I would build an exact copy of his car, and then, him racing on the line. So I think I did all right. Here's a copy of his car, but what it looked like back in the day. It was a 72 Chevy Nova Dragster. And so I just tried to build an exact replica of close as I could. I didn't have the decals to his car just because they were custom for local shops and places. But I tried to get as close as I could, and then I got all the stickers and stuff on that right. So I'll be going over to his house tonight to watch Super Bowl and give him this gift. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, so this is our show booth. It's a little lighting booth that I can put anything in there. So if I do unboxings or painting stuff, I can then put that in there and show you. I've got turntables for that. So that's one thing to the new shop. The next is probably the biggest upgrade to the shop, which is my airbrush booth. So, sorry for the brightness. Let me turn off the light there so you guys can... So, the airbrush booth, I have my testers enamels here. There's the airbrush booth, obviously. It does have air ventilation, which is really awesome because I'm painting in an enclosed area. And then on the other side of the booth over here, you guys can't really see it, but all my Army Painter acrylics. And then hanging up on the wall, I'll just start moving cameras a little bit here. So you guys can see, hanging up on the wall there are all my acrylics. And what I like to do is I paint the very tops of the paints. And bear with me, I'm going to turn up the mic a little bit so you guys can hear me as I step away. So, yeah, I just paint the tops of each one. I probably shouldn't have grabbed white. That's a bad example. But as you can see, you just paint the top. You'll know what the paint looks like when it's dry. And so it's easy enough. And then I try to sort them as best I could to my own version of the color wheel. Through the mysterious closet that's always behind me is what I like to call my crafting cart. So simple enough. You've got your tapes. You guys can't see, sorry. So you've got tapes for taping stuff off, different types of paints. So like the silver tape I use on model cars. Kind of self-explanatory, some tools. And then it rotates and you've got more tools. My paint mask when I'm doing enamels. There's paint up here on top, paint brushes, my drill. And then you've got, strings for rigging, that kind of stuff. And then a different, mixing materials and that kind of stuff. So I finally actually went through, cleaned out the entire closet of all the junk that was in there. And then it's just nice to have a crafting closet to pull that out. But as the studio, the point of this whole spot here, let me get this other camera over. So the point of the paint booth is with this camera here, while we're doing live streams, you guys will be able to actually watch me airbrushing so you can see what's going on, how things are working. I wanted to share a little bit of, sorry, we're moving the camera again. So here's the actual airbrush setup. I have on this side over here, I have my Iwata compressor, and then different, mediums, cleaners, flow improvers. This is Airbrush gloss clear coat that I can use. I use mixing cups, tons of those. They're just disposable, really great. This set is actually pretty cool for the most part. I've got 8 airbrushes here, but my main airbrush here this is an Iwata Revolution, which is probably, I love it. It's absolutely outstanding. This is my primary airbrush, and then all the rest of these are actually from Harbor Freight. And with these cups, what's really cool about them is all I have to do here is for doing a primary base coat, you just pop them in so it's really quick to switch out. And then I have a bunch of extra ones here that you guys can see that I can have pre-mixed colors and just pop them in and get going. And so it allows me to really transition through airbrushing really quick. And I'll move over here to the enamel section. So again, I try to multi-purpose and make everything make sense for airbrushing. I've got my thinners, using my decal sets for doing models, all the different testers. I've got more over here for a specific project, which we will be getting into in a sec. If you guys can see, this here is a paint mixer. I'll give it a go really quick. You can hear it's really loud. You put your paint in there, rubber band it down. It's great. These are really cool. I haven't got to try them yet. But they're pegboards, and there's a little alligator clip on the top and metal rings, so it's easier to paint with them. Again, I got these specifically for a project. And And then this is also a paint mixer, which is really great. I don't know if you can hear it, but you just pop this inside. It's a stir stick, mechanical, so it's just faster. I was originally using, good old-fashioned wooden coffee stirs, but I'm just going through them so often, and I mean that thing takes 2 batteries or 1 battery, and it's good to go. So why not go mechanical? The paint mixer and this were $20 each, so that's kind of a deal there. So yeah, most of my paint brushing stuff or airbrushing stuff is from Iwata, and so that's the airbrushing area. And then, like I said, with this gimbal setup, it just gives you guys the ability to see what's really going on. So I'll give you a shot here of the desk as best as I can. So, as you guys can see, I've got here a Dremel tool, and then there is a hand tool, so at the desk I can do any close fine work. I actually had to use it on the model for my dad, just because the hood was all wrong for the scoop of his car, so I was just like, hey, that's not right. Let me get it so we can get a live stream, the main camera here. Alright, so bear with me as I undo this a bit so you guys can actually see the desk area. So, I do have a multiple screen setup for my computer. Really awesome, and then that's a TV, so as I'm painting, as I'm doing things, you guys won't ever get to see that, but it's so I can, watch something or have something in the background. And then obviously there's the Airbrush Booth. And sorry, I just knocked out the camera. Bear with me one sec. We're having a minor technical difficulty. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to use the airbrushing camera really quick, just because, although this is my good camera, to give you a shot of the other side, where the wires are, the cables are set up, it's just not really opportune. I can turn this though, so you can kind of see. Over on this side, I'll use the other camera, sorry. So, behind me here, if you guys can see, I'm going to try and turn up the mic again so you guys can hear me. Over here is my Otor Master 2. It's a laser engraver, and then over here is just my build table. So as I'm putting some together, D&D modules, stuff like that, I can put together... sorry. So at the build table, I can actually work on putting things together, and kind of, it's almost like my little Lego table where I can build my Legos or something like that, but instead they're all 3D printed stuff. So yeah, I know that's kind of a real quick gist of the studio. I can't really go through all the drawers and stuff of what's in them. But I do have a bunch of stuff, I think. So with the channel, to give you guys a quick update, aside from the model that I was working for my dad, I was recently promoted at the company I work for, which I'm not going to go into. But it's really been a life-changing experience for me. And in doing so, though, it had to literally change my life, because I now have transitioned over to third shift, which... yeah, I had to get used to. It kind of made it so I couldn't live stream for a while, because I was trying to get used to the lifestyle change, the being in, sleeping the day, that kind of stuff. But I'm up to the point where I think I am ready to be able to live stream. and be consistent with it. And sorry if the mic's been so loud. Turned it up a little bit before. So yeah, I do want to be able to do more live streaming. I've got a big model project that's coming that I want to be able to share and do. Not so much D&D centered. I want to get more into doing other things as well. One of the boxes on the build table is a Proton Pack that I 3D printed. I want to do that and put Arduinos in it and all that kind of stuff. So the parts are printed, just have to build it. But the big model that I want to share with you guys, and you saw probably on my Instagram, I posted a picture of the box, but I'm going to be doing the RMS Titanic. Yeah, Titanal. And this thing is absolutely amazing, and the build process that I'm going through is been quite an experience. So I don't want to call this an unboxing simply because it's not. I've already opened the box and all that kind of stuff. Because I was looking for, like I said, the paints that are off on the side on my Airbrush Booth. Those are specific paints for this project. And then I've been going through and getting upgrades for the build. So, real quick, this is the decks. I know it doesn't look very amazing, but it's like a very, very thin like printout of the decks. And so this goes on, and it gives you a better look of the wood paneling of the decks as you go along. And then if I actually open up the model here, and let me get another camera, and we'll put... So you guys can see this. Here's the hull here, and if you don't notice, I'm going to use this camera here. I had to drill out all the holes in the model, and to give you an idea of why, what I want to do is I want to light the inside of the ship to make it look like it's sailing at night. And so, fun fact, the RMS Titanic had about 2,400 portholes, according to my research. And I'm not sure, I didn't count. I was losing my mind as I was going through. It took 2 days of drilling. But, yeah. And so this is a 1 to 350 scale. There's a bunch of upgrades I'm deciding to do. So the base of the model is this plastic square. And then it has these little fake brass. And then there's a fake brass label, RMS Titanic. Frankly, I just, for amount of money and amount of work I'm going to be putting in this model, that's not good enough. So what I've decided to do is I'll get like a piece of oak and trim it up, and we'll go that way. I'll go that route. I'll build my own custom base. Anyways, I want to light the model, so the wiring, I need it to run through. I'll drill a hole in the bottom of the hull and have the wiring go through one of these supports, and that way it's all hidden. And then I can use if I use wood, I can bore out, and so it just plugs. The plug will be out of the back and hidden. So that's kind of my plan for the base. There are some other upgrades I'm doing with this model. This thing is absolutely amazing and cool. But I've kind of put it in here, but the funnels, here, I'll show you what the funnels look like in the actual model. So in this kit, the funnels are, you can see them, they're separated. And I mean, that's fine and stuff, but it's just not, it's going to be almost impossible to hide those lines and give them the real consistency of and accuracy I was going for, because I want this to be a museum quality, or as best I can make it. I want to put the time in and effort. So I had someone 3D print me in resin highly detailed funnels. And you can see the rivets on them, and it's just, they're much better quality, and they actually came with steam whistles and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah. They're also, I am waiting for the flash kit. So if you've ever done a model ship, they come in brass sheets because you can only get so far in plastic infused molds. So with model kits, they'll also have sometimes advanced or flash kits, what they call them. And they're, like, for instance, benches for the Titanic. I'll use an example because that's a popular item. The benches are all made of brass, and then you fold them in the metal, and then you'll paint them, and they're far more detailed. For instance, in the Titanic build, a lot of the the squared off windows, like for instance the Parisian restaurant in the Titanic, it didn't have just squared off windows. There was ornate ivy and that kind of stuff going through those windows, and so the flashing will actually have ornate window lacing inside of it, in which I can put in and make it more detailed. So I'm waiting on that still. I did a couple other upgrades in that I've been doing a ton of research with other model builders on the Titanic, and so I want it to be as accurate as physically possible that I can physically do. So I went out and got let me see if you guys can see this. So these are thread. They're fly fishing thread. And there you go, iron rot and dusty done. And so there's like 4 or 5 different colors from 19th century or 18th century steam vessels for like the wiring and the cabling and that kind of stuff. And the wires actually were different colors. And so when I do the rigging of the ship, I want the, like for instance, the cables that held the steam funnels to the ship, I want those to actually be accurate versus the wiring for the Marconi system or the wiring for, that was actually rigging. And so I want to make sure that's accurate. And if I actually do thread that is dyed the proper color versus painting the cables, I think that'll come out better. So yeah, the Titanic build is going to be the next big project. So I'm very excited to get into that. I have been I did do all the drilling already, but that was just because I didn't think you guys would want to watch for 2 hours of me. I did not use the Dremel, and I don't know for certain if it would have been bad or not, but here, let me switch back to my other camera. Oh, wrong camera. So in the build-up for the Titanic, I didn't want to use the Dremel because I was concerned that at the RPM that it comes out at, there was the possibility of the drill bit heating up and then melting plastic. So, and also the control. I wanted to have absolute and perfect control. So, using the big chunky thing, even one of these, it's not as good control as an actual little pinpoint. So what I use were these little hand drills. So I think this is actually the one I use the most. So it's really great. The top end just totally spins. It's free of that. And then you just put your little drill bit in there and then, just spin. And yeah, 2400, it was an adventure. It was fun. It did take 2 days, probably 12 hours in total to drill all those. And I had fun while I was doing it. I'm a big Clive Cussler fan, and to get in the Titanic spirit, I listened to first I watched the movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's free. I believe you have premium. Is Raise the Titanic. It's a great movie. It's totally inaccurate to the book, but it's a fun movie all the way. So I watched that, and then after watching that, it's kind of, if you give a mouse a cookie, you gotta have a glass of milk. It's like, hey, I gotta watch, or I gotta read the book. So I got the book on audiobook and listened to it on audiobook. And then kind of from there, I've been in Titanic mania, trying to get, amped up and excited for building. So I haven't listened to it yet, but A Night to Remember, which is the classic Titanic story. The movie, which is great. It's an old black and white film. It's very. The only thing is it ends on a note of, I don't want to ruin it because it is an older movie, so a lot of you folks might not have ever seen it. It's a great movie if you're a Titanic fan. I am an absolute Titanic nut. So yeah, that's gonna be the next build. And like I said, there's been a lot I've been trying to change in my life. So that's why I've been kind of off the channel, and that's my fault. I'm sorry. I should have posted about it, but with the promotion, I've decided, hey, some things happened in my life too that made me decide I need to take care more of just my hobbies and my job. I need to focus more on me too. So I'm down 30 pounds right now. I'm on a very, very strict diet, and I've been exercising 2 to 3 to 4 times a week. So I'm trying to not necessarily be, a macho man or like that kind of crap. I would like to get back to the weight I was when I was in the military, but I'm not looking to be the physical specimen I was in the military. Just get back in that kind of shape. So a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Kind of want to wrap up though with the channel. What I'm planning on doing here is I want to have like build Mondays. I have Mondays off, I have Sundays off, and I have Saturdays off. But I learned last time I was doing the channel that if I schedule stuff all the time, I'm gonna get burned out because my job is extremely busy and stressful and that kind of stuff. And sometimes I just want to paint stuff and not commentate and all that stuff. So what I want to do is I don't want to overcommit to stuff. I'm going to try and do an annual video on Monday of builds. I will do one definitely tomorrow because I want to get into the Titanic build. So we'll do probably some painting of basic stuff like the propellers and that kind of stuff. And we'll go from there. We'll learn together. We'll experience it together. And, that's all I can do. If you guys are interested in, making comments, let me know. Hit me up on YouTube or Instagram or under the Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop. If there's tools, materials, things like that, let me know. I will link anything and everything. You just got to let me know what you want to know of where I got this or how did you do that kind of stuff. I'm self-taught on all this stuff. My job is in logistics. My degrees are in English. I was an Army engineer, sure, but I was a combat engineer. I blew stuff up, so I don't really like all this stuff. Is mainly me being self-taught and trying to figure stuff out. You notice the 3D printers are not in the studio anymore. I have moved them into my basement. I call it the print room. And so all 7 are down there, are cozy and cuddly and that kind of stuff. And I moved the shelves that used to be behind me. They're down there, and so I have a spray paint booth down there as well. So yeah, but we'll go from there. Like I said, I'll change the schedule up on Twitch to better reflect. But I want to do on Mondays for sure, doing like some sort of build or creating and something like that. And then I think for going forward also, I think maybe like on a, Wednesday or a Thursday, doing a review just of a product. None of the stuff I've shown you or that I have in this studio is a paid sponsorship. If somebody's interested in helping me to, give me a material or an item to review, I will do that because I do use everything that I have. I love experiencing stuff. For the model for my dad, I made resin mold or silicone molds and then poured resin and all this stuff to make the barriers for the cars. 3D printing for the hood scoop for my dad's car. I used green stuff for the first time, and I'll share a bunch of pictures. My dad follows me on Facebook and Twitter, or not Twitch, He follows me on Facebook and Instagram, so I haven't been sharing any of the stuff from that because I wanted it to be a surprise. And me live streaming right now and showing it, I'm not too worried because, well, he's probably not watching this right now because I think he's working. So, but yeah, I'll let you guys go. Still going to try and do some gaming in the future. Like I said, I was just trying to get my life in order and that kind of stuff and get things figured out as, going from a day job to a third shift is a challenge. I made that choice. I wanted to do it. It's awesome. I love it. But it takes a bit of time getting used to and knowing what I can do and what I can't do. And then also with working out almost every, work day, it's I don't want to put too much on my plate and, promise you guys something and then not deliver. So we'll get into it, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Like I said, if you got questions, hit me up in the comments. Ideas. If you build a Titanic model, let me know how it went. I'm very interested to try. I've done probably 10 hours of research so far. I've got a folder that's nothing but old photos of the Titanic and other people's build reference materials. So, like I said, I want it to be good and a great thing that I can show off and share. But, yeah. So, as I said, like the studio, from here on out, we'll be doing a little bit more. Definitely, hopefully. And if there's anything particular you want to see, I still got a ton of the Bones 5 from Reaper that I will be painting from time to time. Because every now and then I found in a hobby you need to take a break. You need to get your mind on something else. I want to do more live painting for the channel. And with the spray booth I can do that too. But I'll probably do less commentary. And I don't care about editing videos and stuff. So I kind of just like the live stream format. It's just live. Here I am, unedited. This is what I am. Here who I am. If you guys want to hit up in the chats during that, I do have the chats up, as you probably saw on my screens. I do. And again, if you ever see me looking up side, I'm looking at the things going on. So, well, I will let you guys go. You guys have a great rest of your day. I am from Ohio. I am a Cleveland Browns fan, diehard, till the day I die. But I'm definitely rooting for the Bengals tonight. They deserve it more than anything. Also, Ohio needs a win. we've had some rough goes of it. So, but I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm JP from the Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop, signing off. I will see you in the next one, guys.